Hello everybody, how you doing? Wee Paddy from across the shock and back at you this morning. I've been really looking forward to this. I ordered this knife about a week ago. It's just got here now. It's less than a week it took to get here. It's from this company here, which I've used a couple of times. It's knivesandtools.com. They have, I think they're in Europe and in the UK, in America. So it's just knivesandtools.com. I say the UK branch I ordered it from. And I have to be upfront and honest. There's no point otherwise. I actually left a wee note in the comment. Could you please check the fit and finish of this knife, as I will put it on my YouTube channel. Now, they'd obviously read that, which is a good thing, because I do like to give a company a chance. I don't want to run any company down, and I would do that with a lot of the local companies. So take from that what you want. Is it using my YouTube notoriety, for whatever word you want to call it? But I think it's nice if I'm going to get a knife that the company has a chance to give me a good one that's going to represent them best. So they sent me some lovely stickers. They're on my board over there. You'll see it when I'm doing a normal video. But I just wanted to do the unboxing because this comes in the most beautiful container. If you can see this. So this is the box, and this tells you what it is on here. And it's a Laguiole. Forged de Laguiole is the company in France that makes these. So it slides out of this lovely box, and how nice is that? Because that will now sit up on my desk and be for pens and whatever I want to put in it. I love it, absolutely love it. The box itself is just it's a magnetic box, but there's no writing on it. Again, a box that can be used. You have this on the side, obviously, but upside down. Oh, there it is. I'm saying there's no writing. There we go. Forged de Laguiole, and that's the company who make this Laguiole knife. And I'll tell you a bit about them in a minute. So there's the box, opens up. Now this was about, let's say roughly $100. It was 90 quid, so it's maybe $110. So that's your certificate of authenticity. Tells you a little bit about the knife. The knife comes in here. Now, it came in another cloth, but this was a cloth given to me by Knives and Tools. But you'll see they have their logo on it. There we go. And it was a nicer cloth, so I'm going to use this to keep it wrapped up in. So let me show you the knife. Now, this is not the usual. Usually Laguioles come in beautiful woods and things like that, but I didn't want that. I wanted to use this as a cheese knife, as a steak knife, and it's just stunning. It's blue micarta. Now it's smooth micarta. Look at that. Isn't that just stunning? Look at the file work on the back of that knife. That is just stunning. And the little bee or fly, whichever way you want to think of it, the file work there, that micarta again, is just beautiful. It is a finger magnet, so I'm not even going to try to rub them off. That's just the way. Look how clear that is. That's looking up at my phone. But this is a beautiful, beautiful knife. It's just elegant. I mean, it's hand-filling. Let me just show you. Now, look at that beautiful blade. What it reminds me of is a toothpick. A little bit. There is the similarities there. I have a beautiful GEC toothpick. It's out at the minute. I was going to wait for it to come back before I'd done this video. But doing a bit of investigation about the knife, I thought, yes, I'll do a comparison video. But I wanted to give this its own video completely because it is beautiful. There's the name of the company that's there. And it tells you... I've got my glasses. It just tells you Laguiole. Now, this is, let me give you let's do a wee bit of measurements first before I go into it, because I have a wee bit of a history with it. The blade length is about 3 3/4 with a cutting edge of about 3 1/2. Overall length is about 8 1/4, just 8 1/4. So she's a long knife. Now, this is what I like about this knife, and it is very unusual in hand to hold because there's a big swell here. When you hold this in your hand, now this is a slip joint, there's no lock on it. It breaks here. This is a slip joint. In your hand, it is beautiful. Now, bear in mind you're going to use this for steak or cutting cheese or, something like that. It's not going to be a hard use knife. Oh, not these days. So let me just get this. And we'll get this, zeroed. There we go. The blade thickness, which will not be that thick, I would say about 2.5. No, it's nearly 3 mil. Nearly 3 mil. Across the back of the spine, it's nice and wide, and that's what I was telling you about. It is 16 millimeters, which is 0.64. I could not get that worked out in my head. The 6 wrecked me. So it's 0.64. So it's over half an inch. So you have plenty to grip onto. And I'm now just going to... Now, the one thing I'm going to throw in now is Laguiole knives do not have a blade stop. So when you're putting them down, you do it gently. They're quite well sprung too, so you have to be careful. Otherwise, you'll get braid. It'll wrap off the top here, and you'll get blade wrap on your knives. Now, apparently they're all like that, but that's just in my information. I'm not 100% sure on that. One of the videos of what said they all have it. So let's turn this on, and come on then. We are in ounces, and in ounces it is 2.7. which in other funny things is 78 grams. So there you go. There's all that funny stuff out of the way. So, a big knife, not a small knife. They do come in smaller versions. There's one that's got a 3-inch blade. This is obviously 3.5-inch blade and the longer handle. I think there's a couple of different variations, but... So I got the bigger one because I want it for a steak knife and I don't want a wee small knife, but you could take that out anywhere. Surely nobody would be offended if you took that out, and I'll obviously put it in a slip. But this one has the cross on it, and I want to get into a bit of the history because there's a few myths about this knife that people need to know. Maybe you don't want to know, but you're going to know anyway. Anyway, this knife, forged to Laguiole, this is hand forged in-house, and they use T12. They use two different types of steel usually for making these. One is the 12C27, which is a popular variety, but the forged to Laguiole use T12, which is a finer grain structure. It gives it a wee bit more hardness. But they're usually very well high rock weld. Now, I'm not sure what it is, somewhere between 59 and 61. So they're usually quite hard in the Rockwell. Laguiole, whichever way you will, Laguiole, I don't know how you say it, but it's actually a town in southern France. It's not just the name of the knife, it's a town, and it's where they were made, but not the only place they're made. They were made all over France, and a lot of the time when they started to go out of favour, it was towns around them, like, let me see, I've got a name of a town here. Thiers. Thiers is a town near it, and they made a lot of the blades and sent them out to other factories to put in their handles and knives. So Thiers is another little small town, but there's places all over. Thiers was one of the ones that made knives for Spanish, and the Spanish... Now, this was like a peasant knife it started out as. So in Thiers and places around France, they made knives for the Spanish market. And there was a bit of a cross where they thought this is a copy of a Spanish peasant knife, but it's not. There's too many differences, so I'm not going to go into that. Just safe to say that it's not, and it's been sort of proved that the blades are different, their handles are different. It was a Catalonian peasant knife. So we've got that. Forged to Laguiole wasn't formed until 1987. Now, they didn't have any past history to come to, so it was a new knife company. They fought very hard to get the Laguiole name because they make their knives in Laguiole itself. So they got that apparently Now, what else? Some myths about the knife. When this knife actually started, when it first was about, now we're going back, a couple of 100 years now, it was a fixed blade. It was the same sort of shape, but it was a fixed blade, a straight air type handle with a little knob at the end of it. In about 1829, Calmillis is a man, and he made the folding version of it. And they're still making it, obviously from there today. The bee fly was not introduced. Now, this bee fly, this was it was a mix-up in the French language. This bit on the original knife was just a flat piece of metal, and it was geometric sort of shape. There was all sorts of shape on the end of it, and it was attached to it was part of the blade when it came up to hold it on. Now, with the introduction of more modern ways of doing things, it's now at the top of the tang here. It's not connected to the blade at all. Okay, so I'll just leave that out. It is such a beautiful knife. I keep looking at it over and over again. So, 1829, they made the folding version of it, and they've been making it ever since. The bee fly wasn't introduced till about 1908, and it was called, this bit here on the original one, it was called the la mouche, which just means a flat piece of metal. Basically, that's all it was. And they put different shapes. In fact, before the bee came along, they would have had floral patterns, leaf patterns, just symbols on it. So the bee is relatively new. It's not some old, some people had said it going back to Napoleon days where the bee was lots of troops and, I don't know, innumerous troops and all. The file work, again, was not in the original knives. They were very basic knives. But over the years, in the early the roaring 1900s, the Parisians wanted these knives, and this is when the fancy knives started coming in with all different kinds of fretwork in the back. People had their initials put into them. They really were the most popular knives in the early 1900s, or 19th century, 1920s, say. Now, what else can I tell you about it? Now, yes, this is another bit that this is what interested me in this knife. I had watched a couple of videos. My friend across there in America, oh, my blooming head has gone completely. I can't think of anybody's name. Knife Chats with Tobias. Oh, I could not think of that name. He had done videos in this knife, and if you see up close, there's pins in the shape of a cross. There's a central pin there, and then there's little pins either side of it in the shape of a cross. Now, this was said to be done for the shepherds who were out in the fields. Now, they would have had the basic knife, but this was said to be done so that they could stick it into a pie or into the ground, and they could pray to the cross. It'd give them a symbolic gesture to pray to. Sadly, I'm going to blow that out. This is not, it was an old wives' tale. They've always had different shaped pins. It's been, over the years, it's done it. But it was definitely not done for shepherds. The cross did not come in until after World War II. Now, if shepherds after them used it, I'm not sure. But this was an old wives' tale that the cross was there. But it was never put on them until after the Second World War. Another myth ruined. So it's a bee or a fly. It doesn't really matter what you want to call it. But it has no significance other than just decoration. And it was decorated in different ways beforehand. So I got a lot of my information from a YouTuber. I think he's a Frenchman, I take it. Stefan, Schmalhaus, maybe German. He's on YouTube. I'll leave a link to his myths video where he dispels 6 myths about this knife that people thought about it. And it was interesting. I enjoyed watching his video. There's also, he recommends a book from a man called Christian Lamaison. See, my French there is getting better as the video's going on. And it is a complete breakdown of the Laguiole knife. Now, it's only produced in French and German, so there's no way I'm going to get it. But if you speak them languages, pop down to the library. If you get it, share the information. But Stefan was saying that it's a complete another breakdown from the fixed blade knife right the way through, and all the adaptations that had been made and used in the meantime. But for me, this is the fanciest, poshest steak knife I will ever use, and I will use it. When I first got the knife, I let it snap down, and up at the top corner here, there was a bit of blade wrap. So that was before I found out that they don't have there's nothing there to stop that blade coming down. If I can show you inside there, there's nothing there. So just beware, if you do get one, just close it gently. But that is a small price to pay for a beautiful, beautiful knife. I think you'll agree that is stunning. So I'm going to go on then. I hope you enjoyed that. I know I'm not very good at giving that sort of information out. It's new to me, but I think it's where I want to go with the channel too. So getting a wee bit of information out on different knives. And the price range in these really does vary, and the materials you get and the workmanship on them. This is absolutely beautiful. The centering is stunning. It's right down. It's maybe, is it? The centering's a wee bit to the left here, but not. Look, in fact, it's not. I'm looking at that and I'm pushing it. It's actually not. It's right down the center. But it is lovely. And I'll have to say, once she's engaged, it is a very sturdy locking system. It is beautiful. So, look at that messy blade. That's the only thing that, if you've got OCD, it'll probably distract you. Anyway, I'm away, enough waffling. Sorry, I've taken for ages, but I just love this knife. And I'll do a head-to-head with the toothpick. I have the GEC number 12 toothpick on its way back to me again. It was out on pass around. So I'll do a head-to-head because, it's different when you haven't got a knife in hand, but there's a lot of similarities between these two knives. And I'm going to be interested in the history. Did the toothpick originate from something like this? But we'll soon find that out. I'm going to investigate. All right, bye-bye now. Cup of tea time. By God, I've talked a lot. Bye-bye now.